Some are calling it Onika VOODOO, but some are calling it just nothing other than Hollywood weirdness. We're going to be talking about Shannon Sharpe. It seems like there are wild accusations that are coming on his name, and we're also going to be discussing about this entire situation with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And TDE's Punch is finally addressing the beef that transpired between those two people. And we're also going to be discussing about Elliot Wilson. It does seem like people are kind of checking him for the shady ways that he has, against Nicki Minaj. Now, these are some of the things that we will be discussing in this video. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome to the tea blog. I trust you guys are doing well, and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing. And without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. So, first of all, let us talk about Shannon Sharpe. It does seem like there are allegations that are coming against this man. He is being accused of SA by, a woman that allegedly he was seeing. And obviously, this has left the internet in shambles. And this woman further on goes on to say that, well, after that video of Uncle leaked, she tried, to break up with him. However, allegedly, that's when he R-worded that woman. So at this point, I'm just like, what really does, transpire behind the scenes in Hollywood? And as expected, of course, those people that feel some type of way about Shannon Sharpe are just like, okay, so all this while, this is what you're up to behind the scenes. Yet you sit on your podcast playing holier than thou. And for those of you who do not know why Babs feels some type of way about Shannon, it is now a well-known thing that almost every episode of Shannon, he will bring up Nicki Minaj, but not in any positive light. He will try to make, the guests that come on his podcast to talk smack about Nicki. And recently, when talking, to Fanny Marco, and Fanny Marco revealed that, his biggest break was Nicki Minaj. Shannon was like, oh, wow, so Nicki won't come to my podcast, but would give you a podcast. And that had people speculating. So speculating that all the saltiness and bitterness that he has is because Nicki declined to come on his podcast, or he would want her to be on the podcast. So Shannon and the Babs don't see eye to eye, and people are definitely saying that this is Onika VOODOO. And not to mention the time that he wanted to act like he doesn't know who Nicki Minaj is when he was saying Nicki who. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think that this is karma, or oh my god, I cannot believe that I just said karma. But again, my nose is blocked. I've got the flu. That's why yesterday you guys did not also see a video. Aside from it being a holiday, I've got the flu. It really got me bad. So yeah, that being said, let me know in the comment section, you guys. Do you believe the allegations that are coming against Shannon Sharpe? Moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, Tyla is once again under fire, and this time it's because she declined that she got inspiration from Britney Spears. Now, one of her own fan pages actually did post a picture of herself, with that outfit that looks very similar to something that Britney wore years ago, only for Tyla to respond to that, saying that, well, she did not get inspiration from Britney Spears. So the fan page said, Tyla's outfit for Coachella is inspired by the icon Britney Spears. And Tyla responded and said, love her, but I just thought the outfit was fly, no inspo. Now, my thing is, Tyla, did you put together that outfit yourself, or did your team present you with an outfit that was already put together, and or maybe a couple of outfits put together and you had to select? Because if indeed somebody gave you different outfits to pick from, definitely you may not have known that, well, this was inspired by Britney, but the stylist may have known that, well, that look was certainly inspired by Britney. So yeah, the internet is not having it, and people are calling her again an uppity African and all of these names and all of these things. And sometimes I really do think that before rushing to respond, it's always nice to probably just fact check, do I really need to respond to this as a celebrity? Do I even have the facts, to support what my beliefs in this situation, because I feel like sometimes that's the problem with, what's going on. Did she get into the store? Did she buy, the top separately, the bottom separately? In that case, would say that, oh, well, maybe you were not inspired. But if you were presented a complete outfit, Tyla, police. But then again, moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, we're going to talk about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. It seems like the beef is still going on because guess what? Kendrick Lamar is being accused of still riding on the Drake wave, as people felt like his recent tour shouldn't have anything to do with Drake, and people felt like, well, this was his opportunity, to detach from Drake. But it seems like Kendrick does not want any detachment from the beef. He doesn't want any detachment from Drake. He, if anything, I think he's ready to ride that wave for the next coming 10 years. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. Let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about it. Do you think that it's too soon for Kendrick to let go of the Drake wave, that, the Drake beef wave that has been going on around him? Or do you think that it is actually a very smart move for him to capitalize on that wave? Let me know about that in the comment section. Now, that being said, one person who seems to be not singing the same tune that they were singing from the beginning is Punch. I'm talking about Punch from TDE. Well, everybody knows that obviously he's going to ride with Kendrick, giving their ties and everything. But the tune, people are noticing that it is beginning to be actually different, because now he's saying that, well, Drake waved the red flag, the white flag, I'm sorry. And that, well, he meant, when he said that now it's time for us to get to the fact, it meant that, well, he doesn't want the beef to continue. And the song has definitely changed. It has changed. And coupled with that, statement that came from UMG, where they were practically allegedly threatening Drake, of course, people are questioning what's going on. It seems like you guys are now trying to make it friendly, but how are you going to make it friendly when you're out here calling somebody a PDF without any receipts? And, you were prepared to sing about somebody being a PDF on the Super Bowl stage, but now you want to say that it's all friendly, it's all this, it's all that. So let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. And in the meantime, allow me to insert what Punch had to say.
Please, sir. Rage on full display is what I call that. This is a light-skinned term.
I call it the white flag.
Hit the button, please, sir. Hit the button, please, sir.
Somebody gonna have to tell me.
It felt like it because he said, y'all got this shit
me.
burnt the heck out. I said, oh, come on now.
Yeah, it was, just to be transparent, my honest opinion. And two, for the record, I got to say, I'm probably the most unbiased when it comes to this situation. Like, I respect Drake's talent and skill as a songwriter, as a MC.
Right.
You know what I mean? All the success he had. Even conversations I've had with him, like, always been a cool dude. Like, I had to clear the scissor record for him or whatever. So, like, I don't have no beef or malice towards him.
Right.
That he's battling my guy, so
what you think is going to happen?
It's up.
You would do the same thing.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. But when I heard that record, it felt like defeat. Like he felt exhausted.
Yeah.
Like vocally on the record. That's why after I heard it, I wouldn't put good battle.
Oh, you put that on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
I remember that. It did feel like, he did that at a time where it was like the other record was taken off in a way where even if that wasn't a diss song, that would become the primary focus of whatever company is attached to it, because that song took off with gasoline draws. Here's my theory on Hard Part 6, which I thought was really interesting. After, as the West Coast might say, after Kendrick marked that nigga out, I'm just playing. After Not Like Us dropped, and he said, this person in the crew, this person doing this person in this, and I feel this way about you. Drake decided to do his own addition to the Hard Part series, which anybody who's a fan of Kendrick understands how important these records are as almost like photos in a photo album.
Yeah, for sure.
To remind you of where I'm at, right? And as he gets to hard part 6, soul calling again. Hello? Are you there? Oh no, he gone. He gone. Okay. No, so he might have butt dialed me. But as we talking about hard part 6, I thought was really interesting is this. This is my theory. Hard part 6 was him and his white flag, but he also was at that time starting to kind of deny whatever people may be saying about him or what they interpret as the record as. Mm-hmm. And he's like, nah, that, I would respect that record you got if it wasn't full of lies. And he just talked about him. He defended him at a time after his whole label got called out. All his label mates got called out. He didn't say nothing about them and his crew.
Yeah.
I listened to Hard Part 6, the real Hard Part 6, and Kendrick makes it all. Because when I seen it, I was like, oh, shit. And then I heard it and I said, what a masterful move. Not even move, but what a masterful, not even move. That's not the word. What a gesture. Because at that point in time where everybody is focused on what is this going to be about, he tells you what it's really about.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just a testament to who he is. Like, that didn't have nothing to do with Drake's record.
I'm sorry. Soul just clarified. He said, I said paraplegic. Both hands in the pot like a paraplegic. He said, what you meant was ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Okay. You said just being funny. Okay. He had to clarify. I'm sorry, Solo. I had to make sure that he's like, don't play with my words.
That's funny.
But I'm sorry. You were saying that record. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have nothing to do with each other.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a response because you did that, I'm going to do it this way. It was, the heart is all about the heart.
Right.
The feeling where I am, what I've been through since the last time you heard from me.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest things was he left the label to start his own company.
Right.
So what he did was gave backstory and context to what it was.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that's what the heart is always about. If you go back and listen to him,
mm-hmm.
it's from album to album what was going on in that transition period.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a favorite heart of the series?
That one now.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Like, I love all of them.
Right.
Really, but just on the whole team.
Right.
Like, it just felt so much different.
Well, there you heard that, you guys. Now, moving on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about, we're going to talk about Elliot Wilson. It seems like we are not the only people that actually do realize that Elliot is out there doing Nicki Minaj dirty because, people are coming out here saying that, listen, I had to cut off all ties. I had to not communicate with Elliot. I had to call him out on his BS because of how he has continuously, treated Nicki Minaj, which is very odd and weird in my own opinion. It seems like each time that Nicki responds to him, he has some form of, adrenaline, some form of celebration, which is rather weird coming from a man his age. Hey, but anyway, I will insert what this person had to say, and then I'll catch you guys after that.
Coincidentally, Warner Brothers, the parent company, dissolved their whole media division, right? So it was us, Nori, and a couple other podcasts. We became free agents. So shortly after, we had a new deal presented to us.
Can we talk in the middle of this? Do we know why that happened? I know that happened
with
Warner.
It was a bunch of layoffs at the time with the record labels. I don't know why, but they decided to cancel the whole podcast division.
Okay.
So shortly after, we had a new deal presented to us. And it was good, and I was like, I was ready to go. On Elliott's end, they kind of were volleying, going back and forth in the negotiation times and representation. It was just kind of slow on the draw.
Same company?
No, different company, a whole nother network.
No, I'm saying, but the same company that you were speaking to.
Yeah. So same network.
Y'all were a package deal still.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they got to speak separate. But they got to speak separate.
Which that?
But
yo, you guys were a package deal as a show, but you
Still had your own
negotiated your own
negotiation
shit.
You had your own representative.
Gotcha.
I was
Okay.
ready to go. It was a fair deal for the
Gotcha.
most part, right? So we were trying to launch like around June, July, and it was just taking a long time. And like around May, we had a meeting with the company, and they were like, they basically reneged on the deal because we were taking so long. They reallocated the funds that were promised.
Wait. So y'all did eventually sign with the company?
I didn't. No, we didn't sign anything. I was ready to sign, but I was waiting on Elliot on his side, on his end to.
Oh no, you about to make me mad.
So while you're waiting for Elliott's side to sign, is he communicating to you what the holdup is? Is the terms?
Yeah, it was just a lot of back and forth. I was like, yo, what's going on? And, he was like, they're waiting on this and they're negotiating that. So I was like, all right, look, whenever you're ready to go, I'm ready to go too. So I was kind of in limbo and just waiting to see what the next steps was going to be. So when we had the meeting with the company, they basically told us that, we reallocated the funds, or maybe you could revisit at the top of the year. And I was a little bit ticked about that because I was like, damn, I already spent that money in my mind, in my head. You know what I mean? So,
but that's where I'm a little confused.
And also, we were going to try to launch the show like around June, July. So we had the meeting in May, and we were just trying to figure out what the holdup was. And they basically said, oh, well, you guys took too long to sign.
But y'all were the holdup.
Well,
Elliot was over.
It was more so.
They were the
holdup. They were the holdup.
Yes.
The company is sitting there ready, has been ready. We have this money. We negotiated in good faith. Maybe not signed.
Yeah.
But what's happening? It's only but so long that we're going to sit here.
Right. And that's kind of the mentality that I had as well. It's like, yo, what the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying?
And Elliot never gave you real, substantial reasons to why he wasn't ready to move.
I guess, his representation was just kind of going back and forth, volleying with the company, trying to figure out.
When you say his representation, we're talking about Rock Nation?
Not Rock Nation. Not like his lawyer, his agent, that kind of person.
The things that they were fighting for, negotiating for, would they have been things that would have benefited both of you, or was it just stuff for his individual situation?
I think it was more so both of us, but maybe it was also him as well. But I thought the terms were fair. I was just ready to get back to work. So that's what happened, and then we just became free agents. And that was in May, and that was the last time I talked to Elliot.
So May happens. They say we can't go any further. Do you call him
Y'all sitting in the office?
No, we was just over Zoom.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I kind of had that what the fuck kind of what the helly? What the
right.
hell's going on? And that was.
But you never demanded answers from him.
Did you ever have the what the hell conversation with Elliot?
The last time I spoke to him.
That's the last time we spoke was in.
That's the
May.
part that bothers me in content creation. That part right there. Fam, y'all, and listen, if Deezus and Mero want to do it like that, cool. Them niggas say that they just met in the Bronx and had a great business idea and it was going. We wasn't friends, really. That's what came out later. You and Elliot, we don't know like that.
Right.
We don't know to be on some, hey, they just paired these. Y'all were together through multiple ventures. So we don't expect that behavior from y'all. And if the company said nah, then when I'm going to go get with my man in the corner and talk about what's up now?
Yeah, what we doing now?
Yeah. Did you not feel like y'all deserved that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or owed that to each other?
Yeah, but
I'll call. I'm getting mad. I can't hear shit like this.
No, I'm getting more mad at him.
I can't. Why? What beat I did?
Well, I need to make sure I'm
He
mad
didn't
for the
do
right
that.
reason. No,
He did, but
I didn't hear.
you
it.
didn't speak. You haven't spoken to him since then.
no,
have you tried?
Have y'all tried at some point?
nah.
Because I understand why you might be frustrated the fact that the deal didn't go through,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sound like he was being. If you're saying that some of the things that he was trying to go ahead and negotiate with for
But
both of y'all.
and I'm not speaking out of term, and I feel like I'm throwing him under the bus. Ellie's not the best communicator.
Oh, okay.
Got it. That's not.
Anyone knows. That's just
Okay.
Everyone has their flaws. He's not the best communicator. So with the communication is what's there to talk about? We're free agents again.
And you have no desire to work with him again?
Well, on the terms and conditions may apply, but yeah.
But so from January to May, when y'all were in negotiation, you wasn't trying to put the fire under his ass?
Absolutely.
Like, yo, dog,
Absolutely.
what the fuck we doing?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
that was my
Okay, so that's different. All right.
Yeah, so talking to him and talking to his reputation, it's just who's on first? Where are we going with this next? So that was a little frustrating.
sometimes I see people make deals and they slow walk it because they really don't want to do it.
Right.
Is there any part of you that feels like this was his way of exiting?
Sabotage. I was gonna say that.
Nah, I don't think so. Because I think we wanted to get back to work. You know what I'm saying? But there's also a misconception that me and Elliot are friends. We're not friends. I'm not. We're friendly, and I got love for him, but we're not friends in the traditional sense. It's not like I'm hitting him up casually, like, "Hey, it's Saturday. Let's go get a couple Budweisers." You know, like that's not our relationship.
And never been.
Nah, it's never been. You know, so.
You think maybe there was a part of him that wanted the separation so that he can venture into his own realm and not have to feel like so attached to
that
y'all?
seems so passive aggressive.
To
let a whole deal fall apart because he wants to separate.
No,
from
my
him.
thing is you let the deal fall apart, but then you don't even holler at me to go get another deal.
Right.
The deal fell apart. We ceased communication, and now I go venture out and get some other deals.
Well,
So
you still got bills in the first.
I know. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying as far as he and B-Dot go, if I would feel like, yo, you wanted that to happen so that you could venture out and
do your own thing.
And
it's an
test the
anti-confrontational
field.
way
Like, yo,
of splitting up.
Exactly.
You could test
If
the
that's
field.
what's happening.
Because I
I'm
feel
not
like
saying
Elliot is, for me, clearly he's trying to brand himself differently today. He's doing a lot of things that he might have not done before, just how interactive he is and the way he's being interactive online. And he might, maybe in his brain, not see you being a part of that.
Also, he lives
I'm about to say, in Elliot's defense, he also has not been New York based in years.
Well, okay.
I live in New York. Elliot lives in Venice, in LA, in the area. So anytime you saw each other, we were on flights. You know what I mean? Getting our sky miles up. You know, but Elliot's a cool guy. You know, working with him isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do. But I think that
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's been fun. We made history. You know, we did a lot of iconic shit. But, you know, I think the last year and a half has been exacerbated, you know, because of you, Joe Budden.
Oh, yeah. No, now we here.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, we here now, nigga.
You are Yoko Ono.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Joko Ono.
Joko Ono.
Joko Ono.
That's funny. I got to hear more.
And I say that because when we had you on the show, 2023, I feel like you antagonized and you gassed him into leading into this antagonistic persona that we see right now that's kind of becoming a little bit unrecognizable. And I feel like
That was deep.
I saw the effects of that shortly after because Elliott slighted Drake, he slighted SZA, who else was it? It was like Nicki Minaj. I was recently
Casanaj.
It was Sway, Angie Martinez, and I'm like, yo,
it was a lot.
What the hell is going on? And I feel like your influence encouraged him to lean into
and
this.
act, yo.
The villain.
Yeah.
You inspired
Spicy,
you inspired
So the rage baiting is an act. He doesn't actually feel the way that he.
I don't know if that's truly how he feels.
Can't say that because they're not friends for him to say that.
Well, I mean, like he spent enough time around him professionally and personally over the years to be able to see that this is not consistent behavior with who he's presented himself to be.
Well,
so
shit, anybody can see that who's watched him enough in his.
Yeah.
No, but
wait,
but
I
the
want
other
to
one might
rewind
have
a
been
little
an
bit to the Joko Ono shit. Do you think that that's what my message was when I went on y'all show?
Absolutely, because I wasn't the only person that felt that
What
way.
did he say? Like
I'm paraphrasing,
paraphrase.
but it was like you're bigger than the program type shit. Like,
oh shit,
to Elliot.
It was. I think it was to both of us.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't just to Elliot.
But I feel like you were talking directly more so to him, more so to me.
I spoke to him because I have more experience with him.
Okay.
I spoke to him and saw him make what I think was the wrong decision in terms of our everyday struggle shit. Elliot was who I was going to do everyday struggle with, if anybody doesn't know that. He didn't live here. He didn't like the terms. He left. I viewed that as a whole different experience to where it wasn't really about the money. This is I won't say a portfolio pattern, but this is a chance to change everything.
It did.
And it did.
Shit, it did. For you and I, absolutely.
And it did. And Complex, that shit changed everything for all parties involved.
For sure.
Elliot made
Changed
a different decision. Elliot continue to take a check. When I get the money that I'm happy for from a company, and when that opportunity is gone, I'm going to find another company, and I'm going to find another company, and I'm going to find another company, and then I'll look for another company. I'm totally against that.
Right.
So I try to preach a message of empowerment of you're bigger and better than that, or at least give yourself a shot to find out. Not go become a caricature of yourself and do a bunch of shit and say a bunch of shit you don't necessarily believe or believe in.
You think he's doing that now?
No, but to the people that think, like Mel said, do you think he is rage baiting or fronting? I don't know, but that wasn't my message to him.
But in your original message, now if he looks out at the landscape and he sees the only people that are being somewhat successful that are independent and they're doing these things, that might be I gotta do that or I gotta play like them to become
the person
successful.
that says that, I say they didn't look at the whole landscape.
That's a bad way to look at it.
They didn't look at the whole landscape.
I feel like the people who are successful in doing that, they came in and go, and you start 10 years before that being very calm, very journalistic, high morale on certain things, and then you switch 10 years later to
Well, there you heard that. Thank you very much, you guys, for watching it. Thank you very much for making it through, even through my weird, voice because of the flu. Forgive me, you guys, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm noticing that the flu is actually not going away anytime soon because it feels like it's going away and then it comes back early in the morning. I've been trying to take the medication and all of these things. But I do hope that in the next coming days, I will be better. I hope you guys had an amazing Easter holiday, and let me know, you guys, what were you up to during the holidays. Until my next one, see you.